This is our home for a whole month, and it's a small one, but we do find it cozy. It's a studio, but it has everything that we want. A small kitchen, even a kitchen stove, although we must confess that nothing is going on here. Don't look. Well, no.
So you're telling me that we are not using it?
Well, that would be a lie. We cook breakfast, but other than that, we always order. So, and that's how it usually goes in Southeast Asia. Ordering is cheaper than buying groceries yourself. Although we will go to a supermarket a bit later, and I think it's a good one, and we do buy some basics there, like fruits, vegetables, eggs, stuff like that. So a nice, quite wide bed, but again, not very long, but for us it's good. We fit. Yeah, so the bed is nice. It is quite soft, which I think I like.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah. So what else do we have? It is a desk, but I think it's like a vanity thing with a mirror and everything, but we don't use it. And yeah, we unfortunately use all the chairs for our clothes because there are not enough hangers, unfortunately. And the good part that we have is this full-size window, which I like. And right now it's a bit rainy, but we just had the cleaning, so we can present this nice and clean. Cleaning is twice a week, and it's actually included in the price on the Airbnb. Yeah, and we even got the washing machine, which is nice. But quite often in Southeast Asia, you can find them in the building. So it will be a coin machine, you just put in the coin and wash it yourself. Usually on Airbnbs, if it's in Southeast Asia, you don't have to worry about the washer that will be in the apartment. Or in our previous video, we showed that laundries everywhere and they are quite cheap. So you don't have to worry about that much in Asia. And this is where we sit. The view is on the city, the beach is over there, and we do have like a partial sea view. So there are mountains, there is the sea or the ocean, and there are more mountains over there. So overall the view is nice, and we are on the top floor, we are lucky. Don't drink the water in Southeast Asia, almost never, nowhere. 40,000 Vietnamese dong, which is affordable. And
it's less than $2.
Yeah, convenient, we just tell them on WhatsApp and they bring it over. So with that there is no problem.
Yeah, 20-liter ones.
AC they have, and overall the apartment is quite modern and clean. But if you look closer, you do see was already some renovations. Yeah, so if I were to think, do I want to buy an apartment here, I would probably decide not to, because seeing that these apartments are quite often new-ish, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 years old, but already the walls have some cracks. They're cheap to fix, but still they wear out quite quickly, so to me it looks like the construction quality is not very good overall. So I wouldn't buy, I would prefer just renting them out and just moving to a new one if something does, because here, especially in Da Nang, we see that the constructions are everywhere, the construction is everywhere. You might buy something here and in a couple of months there will be a construction right next to you and you will be listening to the drilling all the time. And you can rent it out, but people will be unhappy about the constructions. And when you rent yourself monthly, you can just switch an apartment whenever you want. Yeah, what we would prefer as full-time now travelers, we would prefer like a bigger table, because for 2 people it's a bit small. So that's something I usually look into when I'm choosing the apartment, but sometimes you have to make a compromise. You can't always get what you want, but usually I would like a bigger one.
Yeah, from what we've seen so far in Asia, it's just more difficult to get a good apartment for a reasonable price. Although here in Da Nang they are really cheap. Usually you do have to compromise on one thing or the other indeed.
Well, yeah, and the fridge is big and we don't have much in the fridge. Lonely sausages. Lonely sausages. Yeah.
So we even need to buy eggs.
Yeah, and of course we have the bathroom, and it's quite good. I would say quite good looking, modern, and it has everything. As I already said, we have a rooftop pool right next to our door. And unfortunately, not every day in October, November was sunny. It did rain quite some days, so we didn't have a chance to use it as often as we could. But still, the views from the rooftop are really cool. You can see all of the city and you can even see the sea and some of the attractions like Marble Mountains that we will show you more of in our next video. But unfortunately, on the rainy days, it would really get very rainy. We didn't even take out our bike to ride because it's too slippery and it's too much water. So on other days, we would either just walk to the closest supermarket, or we just order food and stay inside all day working on the videos. We order food via the Grab app, and I must say it arrives very quickly, something like 10 to 15 minutes, and the driver is already there. We would order mostly Vietnamese food like my quan, bun đao, banh mi, and mix it up with Korean food like gimbap or Japanese sushi, which is also available on the Grab app. Prices for 2 people would be something like 60,000 Vietnamese dong. For Korean food, it would be more like 100,000 Vietnamese dong for 2 people. And for Japanese sushi, it can go up to 200 to 300,000 for 2 people. Overall, I would say that with Vietnamese food, because we are not really specialists, we sometimes did not exactly know what to order, what to be best. So sometimes it was hit and miss. Sometimes we would really like it and other times we couldn't understand what we are getting. But that's mostly because we just don't know and sometimes just point onto something and try it. But I guess if you don't try, then you don't know. But overall, we do like all kinds of Asian food, both Vietnamese, Thai, Korean, Japanese. So overall, I would say we had no complaints about food delivery. And on some days we would take the bike and go to the nearest supermarket. By the way, I got some questions about where did we rent our bike. And here in Da Nang, from what I know, you can rent it at your apartment complex. They do that kind of service. So then you don't need to actually go anywhere, just ask at the reception, at the manager. Or if you're staying at a hotel, they also will do the same service for you. These days, the price is about 100,000 Vietnamese dong for a day, and for long term there are good discounts. But right now is the low season, so if you're coming in a high tourist season, the prices might be a bit different, a bit higher. Overall, driving here in Vietnam can be hectic, and we recommend to be extra alert on the road. Or you can just use a Grab bike. It's very inexpensive and they also come very quick. And driving around by bike is a good opportunity to see more of the city, because actually almost no one here is walking, and even the sidewalks are not really for pedestrians. They are more like to park your bike or to plant a tree or to put something there or to have chairs and tables for a local eatery. So if you want to see the city, you will have to get yourself a bike. And we were lucky, we were within 5 to maybe 8 minutes by bike to a big supermarket. In the supermarket they had a free parking. Overall, I would say that that place is good to buy some souvenirs maybe, and to buy all kinds of food. And they even had a small food court with quite good choices where you can try all kinds of local food as well as Korean and Japanese sushi. If you need a helmet for your bike, if you're not satisfied with the one you're given, you can get it there. You can get yourself a yoga mat for a good price. Of course, all kinds of personal hygiene items, both local and imported. They had a big fruit and vegetable section. If you do prefer cooking your own meals, they had all kinds of fish and meat, big bakery section. And here is the food court. Here you can see the Korean gimbap and Japanese sushi, as well as Vietnamese food. The prices are very affordable and you can eat it right there. You can even buy ingredients for a soup all packaged together, and they would give you kind of an electric hot pot and you can make that soup right there. Of course, this is also a noodle heaven. You can buy both Vietnamese and Korean and Japanese noodles. And for me personally, just walking through supermarkets like this, you can kind of peek inside of the local culture. For example, what kind of food they eat, what kind of sauces they like. And it's just very interesting to take a look what kind of things they are selling at the supermarket that you have never seen before. Big selection of teas and coffees, although most of the coffees that I saw were either 3-in-1 instant coffees or the filter coffees. The supermarket had a big alcohol section, all kinds of wine and stronger drinks, local strong drinks. The beers are quite cheap, even the Heineken is quite inexpensive. So this is what I was buying on that day: bunch of chocolates, some dried fruit, noodles, coffee, couple of beers. And this was my total bill on that day. So we are back on a motorbike, and this time we are going to the beach. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes on a bike to get there. This is one of the liveliest touristy streets near the beach in Da Nang. Many hotels and restaurants are here. It's also a very busy road. So before we go to the bridge, we stop for a coffee, and this time I decided to try a specialty of Hanoi, egg coffee. We wanted to try it back in Hanoi, but because what happened, we didn't have the time. We instantly forgot about everything that we wanted. But here in Da Nang, we could also find it in some of the coffee shops. This coffee shop is called the Local Beans. The ground floor and the first floor are for people who want to drink coffee, maybe sit on their laptops and chat. And the second floor was actually a co-working space. It was very quiet here, so I think it's perfect for people who want to work. So Renee has always had the double espresso, and I had the egg coffee. I did hear that some of the bloggers who tried it as well here in Vietnam, they describe it more of as a dessert, and it is quite thick. But what I discovered is that the actual coffee, the espresso shot, is at the bottom, so you do have to stir it really good, and maybe on the top it does taste like a dessert, but by the end of it, it is a coffee. I definitely liked it and would try it again. Now we are driving alongside the beach, and the promenade looks really good. It has quite some fast food cafes as well as a beach cafe where I saw some foreigners, probably on their holiday. The beach is sandy, but the waves are quite strong, and they are like that most of the time, so I don't see people swimming in it very often. But it's probably perfect if you're a surfer. Overall, I would say that having a beach like this close to your apartment is really nice. You can always go there and have a relaxing walk. You can just look at the waves and forget your troubles for some time. And we did talk with Renee about would we live here permanently for a year at least. And he said yes, but to be honest, I'm still undecided. I love the beach and I do love the relaxed vibe. But for me, I would probably need a couple more months here to decide whether I want to stay longer. What we both noticed in comparison to some other beach cities is that the beach road is not too busy with traffic, so you can safely drive it. And for example, if I compare this beach promenade to the one, let's say, in Pattaya in Thailand, then I would like this more because still it's not too many tourists, not too many bars, and the beach looks clean enough. So that makes it for a more relaxed feeling overall. So, how much money did we spend here in Da Nang, Vietnam, living for a month? And I have it all written in my book, so I will look into it from time to time. Our total rent that we paid on Airbnb was $330 for a month. It was actually a bit less than a month, maybe 28 days. But as you know, on Airbnb you can get good discounts if you stay for 28 days or longer. And from what I know, this is actually the average price. Actually, for apartment like ours, if you rent it here long term, I heard prices starting from $200 for a month, excluding the bills. But on Airbnb, naturally, it's a bit more expensive. Although right now in Vietnam you cannot really get a visa that's longer than 30 days, or you have to do visa runs all the time. We pay bills separately, electricity, and it will be about $25 for the month. We were also ordering drinking water, which totaled to about $25 for a month. So our total life expenses were $700 within this month for us, for two people. And you have seen our lifestyle in the previous video, and in this one we didn't do any big shopping, or we didn't do drinking or stuff like that. We didn't go to bars, but we did rent a bike and we did go to some of the attractions, and that was a bit of an expense. We did eat out a lot, we did ordering a lot, so we were not trying to save money on food. So of course, if you really need to go as low on your budget as possible, then I would just eat Vietnamese food, local food, and I would also order because the price is the same as on the street, and that way your budget might be even lower than ours. So in total, our basic expenses were $1,100 for two people, and this excluding the flights and visa expenses, because depending on your nationality, on your passport, you might have different expenses. If I was planning to come here again, I would count on $1,100 for two people as a basic expense, and I would maybe get extra $500 for a person just for emergencies, or if you want to do shopping, or if you want to do some extreme sports. So far, with the same lifestyle as we had before in Turkey, we actually approximate that our expenses are still the same as they were back in Turkey. Of course, now we will have to buy a new iPhone to film, but yeah, those expenses are not something you can predict. If you missed our previous video, there we tell you exactly how much we are spending on food and on bike rentals, as well as some other expenses. And in the next video we will show you how beautiful Da Nang is, and we'll take you to see some of the attractions.